Red Pill Traumaland, Red Pill Alpha Hood Rat Club Scene, how it went down. She is a beautiful, voluptuous, sensual woman, and he is a well-built, red pill alpha male, a self-confident man. Together, they are looking out at some of the people in the night spot. This is a meeting place for the modern dating scene. Some are looking for drinks, entertainment, and conversation. Others are looking for someone to spend the night with. Some have been hanging out for like 10 or 20 years. Some are brand new. You'll find the 21-year-old with the 70-year-old. And the 70-year-old has the advantage of having kept his body fit and his mind agile. So not only does he look good, but he's a smooth operator. One of the young men is Marcus. He's new to this club. He's had a few years of college. He left to take on a high-paying computer science job. He comes from a nice family. He thinks because he has caught the eye of a beautiful woman across the room that he's about to meet someone very nice. Let's go over to her side of the room. There she is. She's got 10 years on the young buck. Men and women can be and are attractive and fit at any age, and she is no exception. Some people are fortunate to be perfect physical specimens with attractive faces, like this young lady. She's sitting with an older gentleman. These two have known each other for a few years. She talks freely to him. He understands why she is the way she is and remembers when she was younger and had given him the same "I want you" look that the young man was now giving her. Imagine what was going through her mind as her eyes gazed at the good-looking young man with the alpha characteristics. The animal in her was already creeping and freaking around. He's fresh and new to the scene. He hasn't been out there long enough to have had his mind destroyed by a narcissistic gaslighter. He doesn't know yet what it's like to be lied to, cheated on, and disrespect. But this is how it all happened to him. First, here are a couple of definitions. Misogyny. In general terms, that's men hating and disrespecting women. And misandry. Misandry is women hating and disrespecting men. Now, before we go any further, I want you to understand that she doesn't hate men and he doesn't hate women. But you can hardly tell that by their behavior. She wants to be the first hood rat to draw him into her dream world. First, she's going to love bomb him. Tell him how masculine he is, how she feels so wonderful when she is around him. She'll brush her breast against his arm and give him an ego rush. She wants him to think that he will only feel this way with her. She doesn't hate him. She just wants him to adore her and to be dominated by her. The older gentleman, he lowers his head and smiles. He's seen this scene 1,000 times before. The young man sees her beautiful face and her banging body, and he can't wait to get to know her. He doesn't know that her mother had kids by different men, and not one of them was by her husband. She could never show her daughter what a loving relationship looked like because she never had one. Neither did her husband. The daughter was cold-hearted. No, it's more like she was no-hearted. The combination of no upbringing and being allowed to do almost anything with no consequences has let her develop a self-centeredness, a sense of entitlement, and very little caring for what anyone else is feeling. Some now refer to her as a narcissist, and she has, because of her fabulous curves, has caused men to let her get away with stuff just so they could get in bed with her. Now, after a few years of that, and misbehaving has become normal. She originally wanted the true love everybody talks about, but after being lied to and cheated on enough times, she decided she had enough. This is the end of part one. In part two, we're going to find out how she got her man to apologize to her for making her cheat, and we'll watch her trauma bond with him. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on part two. Red Pill Alpha Hood Rat Club Scene, Chapter 2. The first time she stepped out with vengeance in her heart, she had sex with another man and told her man's friends. She made it seem like it was a mistake, and she only did it because she was confused by the man she loved. When her man found out, all he heard was how mean he had been to her. He didn't remember being mean, but that was what everybody was saying. So after a while, he just gave in and apologized to her and forgave her for her cheating. She actually had him blaming himself for her cheating. She knew just what to do to have him feel the way she wanted him to feel so she could have him do what she wanted him to do. He didn't catch her cheating. She let him know she was cheating. And when she didn't want him to know, she would just do it, wipe her mouth, and go home. And he wouldn't suspect a thing. It served her purpose, this time, to weaken and demoralize him. She would tell him that it was his fault. She would appeal to her man's compassion and understanding and ask him, "How could you think that of me? You know how much I care for you." She was just flushing his mind down the toilet. This is how she trauma bonds him. When she saw that he believed her lies, she went crazy. She began to get addicted to the looks that she would get when she just went out. When you are addicted to something, it takes willpower and commitment to make it change. Without that constant conscious effort, it just won't happen. You will just continue with that same behavior. And that may be what happens to her. Maybe. I have seen 20-year-old men having sex with married women and the women posting it on social media. You just don't do better by accident. If you have been doing bad things, you will continue to do bad things until you make a decision to change your behavior. At first, she felt guilty, but that changed to cheating because she was mad at him. And now she does what she thinks all guys do. They sleep with whoever looks good, and who knows, maybe she will run into someone who can pull the wet around the sex tour out of her. This was how her street rep began. Before she was finished, the once strong-minded, confident alpha male was a sad, overreaching shadow of his former self. His ability to think in an analytical fashion and to be able to dissect and resolve issues efficiently had become a thing of the past. The young man Marcus on the other side of the room has no idea of what may be in store for him. The older gentleman, a Mr. Solomon Good, would like to talk to the young man about his narcissistic friend Tina, but Solomon is her side guy, and he's good at it. On social media, they refer to him as the professor. So he knows how to play his position, and he will continue to be Tina's safe zone. The young buck, Marcus, gathers his phone and credit card off the table. But before he can start to move in Tina's direction, a soft voice with a warm, sweet breath asks him if he was expecting anyone, and could she have a seat. He turns and sees this beautiful smile with dreamy baby eyes and a D cup he forgot about was across the room. He's not going anywhere. Solomon had gotten up to leave. He smiles and nods his head as he's about to walk past Marcus and his fabulous new friend. He didn't know it, but Tina was following a few steps behind him. Tina noticed the other girl glancing at Solomon. She saw the look of interest on her face and took a chance and called out his name, Solomon. As he turned, she winked one eye and said, "Why don't you come sit with us for one more drink?" He caught on right away. She wanted him to be there for some reason, and with Tina involved, he knew there would be some intrigue and probably some fun. This is the end of part 2. Watch again to get all the lessons. In parts 3, we will watch Tina love bomb Marcus, and Solomon, who should know better, breaks the Red Pill Alpha Code. Remember to like and subscribe. See you on part 3. Red Pill Alpha Hood Rat Club Scene, part 3. "This round is on me," Tina said as she pulled out a chair. "Oh, I didn't know you were expecting someone. From across the floor, it looked like you were alone," she said to Marcus. The young buck was caught off guard. Having two beautiful women at the same time at the same table wasn't something he was used to. Solomon had an idea about what she was up to. All he had to do was follow her lead. He put a relaxed look on his face and listened as Tina introduced herself and asked Marcus's name. "And your friend?" she asked. Marcus was caught off guard. He looked at the lady who had just invited herself to sit at his table. We just met. I don't know her name." He looked at her beautiful face and asked, "What is your name?" "Chiquita." And before another word could be spoken, Tina says, "And I'm Tina. I'm going to the bar to get fresh drinks. What do you guys want?" She listened to everybody, and then she went to the bar. Once she got to the bar, she got the attention of the bartender and ordered their drinks. Then she turned her back to the table and signaled Marcus to come help her with the drinks. This woman knew how to control the flow. She had all the players just where she wanted them. This girl was smooth. Nobody had a clue about what she was doing or what she was up to. She wanted to separate Marcus from everybody else. She knew Solomon would keep Chiquita entertained, and because everybody was getting together for the first time, she knew she needed to keep Marcus and get him uptight right now. So when he approached her, the first thing she did was signal that she was available to him. She murmured as he stopped in front of her. "When I called you to come over to help me, I had no idea you looked so good. You walk like a combination of Denzel Washington and Idris Elba. I don't remember seeing that before. Did you keep yourself hidden because you look so good?" He was swamped. Suddenly, he felt like somebody had pulled the rug out from under him. He was ready to try to impress her, but it was as though she had thrown a net over him. When he told her he had just moved to a new home a few blocks away, she said, "If you are inviting me, the answer is yes. I think I can trust you enough to be alone with you." His ego started to float. This fabulous woman was making him feel like a king. No way was he going to let her sleep through his fingers. Little did he know that he was reaching for the gold ring in the nose of a pig. Meanwhile, back at the table, Solomon knew an opportunity when he saw one, and Tina was right about that look in Chiquita's eyes. Tina's instincts are right on. Chiquita had daddy issues. She's mad at him and wants to please him at the same time. And she is attracted to the well-fit, well-groomed older gentleman. And as for Solomon, just so happened he was getting tired of only having women around that he couldn't relax and be himself with. Bottom line, he wanted to feel love. He wanted to love someone and have someone love him back. He saw the sparkle in her eyes, and in his heart of hearts, he wants this to be the one. And in that moment, phew, he forgot everything he knew about choosing. Something inside of him saw her as this attractive, well-endowed, juicy young girl that he was going to mold into being his woman and to teach her the way around the world. No way any of this has happy endings. Everybody is doing their thing for different reasons. Pick out the lessons. Do you see any familiar circumstances? Use them as tools as you go through this psychological menagerie. Watch again later. Thank you for watching. Tell your friends about us. Hit the like button and subscribe.